Hello. I think 1.5 weeks ago I filmed a video about my watercolor collection, and in that video I said that maybe I should try to make my own watercolor paints, because I already make my oil colors and it's very successful in my opinion. It's very good paints, and it's really fun. A little bit messy, but I just love it, and it's very affordable too. Over time, in the beginning, it's not. When you have to buy like this will last me for forever. But you know, you have to buy it one time, then you have it. Although this is not expensive, but when you have it for a lifetime, maybe. So that's. I just want to say that the starter things that you could need is kind of expensive. Most of it I had already, because I make my oil paint. I had my muller, my plate. I had a lot of pigments that I have collected over time. And I just had to buy the additional, like the gum arabic, which look like this. You can buy it already diluted in water, or you can buy it like this. This is the raw stuff, and what you have to do is dilute it in water, which I have done here. Here's a little jar where I keep my water. I think the recipe was 2 parts gum arabic and 1 part gum arabic and 2 parts water. And optional was 1 part glycerine or honey. So I have now tried to make paints 3 times with a little bit of a different variation in the recipe, and I'll show you why. Because every pigment, they are so different, they behave totally differently, so they need the different recipes. So you have to just, I don't know if there is any books or anything that comes with like an exact recipe of how to do it. For me, it's just about the feeling, and have to experiment a little bit. And however, like, it doesn't matter the outcome, like how it looks, because especially with watercolors, they will still work. Like, they will dilute in water, hopefully. If you don't, I think gum arabic is like the glue part that is gluing it to the paper, or gluing the pigments together in like a hard pan. And then it's a glue that reactivates in water, I think. I think that's what it is. And the glycerine and honey, the thing is, they're the same-ish. The effect is the same. It's to make it moist, or like have this more like battery body, maybe. What it does is just make the painter softer and more like keep it in moist a little bit. So I'm guessing if you have a type of a paint that is extremely glossy and just never dries, like a semi-moist paint, it's probably because they have a lot of glycerin or something in it, while other paints might be, they dry up to be very dry and kind of cracking. That's maybe because they have no additives and just pure gum arabic and the pigment. So that's just my guess from what I have experienced with making these. So I tried the first time and I got hooked. So I have made paint 3 times now, and I'm going to show you. I've actually made this palette, not entirely. This row is paints that I already have, and these 3 greens, and this one little one. Basically all the small pans are from the paints that I already had. So I bought this box actually, and then I reused all the St. Petersburg pans, and I made paint into them. I like these pans because they are a little bit kind of smaller in size, but they're higher. So it's a full pan, but they're higher, and I can exactly fit 7 big pans and 1 little pan when I use these ones. If I use the regular pans, they are kind of bigger, but they are flatter in comparison. you see this one higher, but it's smaller. So with this one I could just fit the 7 big pans in this. I'm guessing, I just don't have 7, it's 5. But yeah, but with this one I can fit another additional little pan in here. So I'm reusing these ones, and I bought like 10 of these in the local shop, and I filled them too. So yeah, let me look at some swatches. I made this little chart. These are all the colors I have made so far. And my first impression is I was so happy that it actually works. It is watercolors, and they wet perfectly. Like, I was so surprised. I was thinking, oh, they will dry up and I can't reuse them, or they will never dry, or something, or you know. But what you can see, they are strong, they reactivate well. It's just that they don't exactly always look like, look at this. Some may look dry, especially earth colors. This one also looks dry in the pan, and this one especially. This one's like the first color I made, so that's maybe the reason. It's a burnt umber, and it's a earth color, and earth colors are very like in texture they're more like clay-ish. They suck in their moisture and they dry up really like dry, just like a clay basically. So in my first time I was afraid to put the honey in. I didn't know like how big portion of a honey I should make. So if you can see here, the ones that have least honey in them, my first attempts were, this is natural earth colors, umbers, and they really they granulate a lot and they're really dry in the pans, but they work nicely. I can absolutely use them. In my third attempt, when I put a big batch of honey in it, like a huge batch of honey, you can see that it's more, even though this is not earth colors, they're more softer and more like they have this very even tone, and they granulate a little bit less. So I'm guessing that the more additive you have, the more uniform texture can get. Because I'm of course using all natural, or not natural, but all like pure pigments. So every pigment is different, so they will behave differently. And some of them granulate a lot. Look at that. This is also in my first attempt. This is ultramarine blue. It is so bright, so granulating, and you can see most of them, like this one, is also really granulating. And I love it. I love granulating paints. It's my favorites. Some people may not like it. Then I would just try to experiment with more of the honey. So yeah, this is all the paint I have made so far, and I am in love with the process. So yeah, this is my palette that I then built from most of my own paints, and then some additional that I didn't have. I don't have some of the pigments are really expensive when you buy it in a bag. For example, the PV19, the violets, maybe the cadmiums are really expensive. I just bought it, the smallest bag that I have, from Kremer. Kremer is really great. It's a good price for pigments, and the quality, I mean, is great in my opinion. So there are two, one orange and one red cadmium. And then there's a cobalt blue that I already have, titanium buff or titanium natural, awesome color. And then this is a chromium oxide green, PG 17. I just write the names on the pans, and then I write the whole names and the brand that I took the pigment from onto this chart. yeah, and I also bought the the small pan that I was talking about in the last video, and I also ordered these brushes that you can close up and travel with, and I really love them. I bought 3 different ones, and they are from Rosemary Brushes, and I'm so in love with them. There are like, one is synthetic and one is like a mix, I think, and one is totally natural, I think, about. And they are amazing. Like, I am so obsessed with these brushes, and I can travel with them. And the box too, I take this with me everywhere, and as you can already see, like I put in some old paints I already have, and some of them I kind of knew. That's my own blue right there. I think my ultramarine blue is the brightest of like all the ultramarines blue I've ever tried. But the reason being, it's really dry in the pan, and I should mix in more honey next time, or glycerine. The glycerine is liquid, more liquid. It's less liquid than water. It's kind of, but it's liquid. And the honey that I have is a very old one that is like crystallized or something. It's really like hard. It's more like a wax. So I use a little bit of both sometimes. But the last time I tried, I had this one in my like gum arabic solution mixture. I keep this one in the fridge, and when I use it up, I just add another one of these and a little bit of water, and then I just let it sit in the fridge, and it's all fine. And yeah, and the honey I mix in when I mix the color with the knife on the plate, and then with a muller. Actually, I don't always use the muller for watercolors. It's more important in oil colors, in my opinion, to get that, because in oil colors you kind of use more of a texture paint, but in watercolor it's always going to dilute in water anyway. So it's going to be about the washes, and you don't get that crumbling of pigments or anything, like, at least of what I've experienced so far. So yeah, now I'm going to compare my yeah, and this is my first attempt. When I just made my first paint, I just made the umbras, the titanium white, a black one, and an ultramarine. That's not my first try, and I posted a picture of it on Instagram. And I wanted to try like a natural, because they were very natural colors, painting. So this is like the Albrecht Dürer attempt, not a rabbit but a hare. Yeah. So the white is opaque, and I wanted it to be. I think it's really cool. Yeah, so I'm going to compare the paints. Here is Rembrandt paints. First glance, the Rembrandt's paints are more uniform in their texture, but I got to make the same look with the addition of a lot of honey, I feel like. So I'm not concerned about that. I feel like I can decide if I want granulation or if I want a more flat wash. You can control more when you start to learn, I think, the different recipes, and you can experiment, and it's really fun. And you use so little pigment and materials per pan. I feel like I don't have shame of making a lot of colors, because I mean, it's fun. And it's actually really quick too, because when I make oil paints, it's so messy, and you have to clean up the oil and the plate and the muller and the knife and everything, and you have to clean it so much, and you have to also make bigger batches so you can off paint, so you can tube them, and the tubes are kind of big, so it takes a long time, and you have to mull it for a long time, and then you have to tube it, and you have to make sure it's absolutely airtight, the tube, afterwards. And the cleaning is a little bit of a mess. With the watercolor paints, It's more like, because it's water, it's so easy to clean, and it's so fast that I spend about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes per full pan of paint that I make, and plus like cleaning and switching to a new pigment and a new color. So if I had a full day, I could absolutely make a big palette. If I had everything ready, if I had all the pigments already, I would just do it. It's actually really quick, and I was surprised by that. I thought it would take the whole day. So yeah. Let's see, the ultramarine blue is a very well-known paint for having granulation, and I remember loving this Rembrandt paint for the granulation properties. But look at that, and look at this. Okay, so I mean, it's a personal taste, I think, but then again, this one is more flat. It's not ultramarine, it's cobalt, but it's more flat, and I had a lot of honey in it, so I think I could experiment a little more with the next time I'm making ultramarine and see if I can make less granulation and more like this, or I can just keep it as natural as this. So it's more about the personal choice, the personal taste, I think. I still love these paints, I still use them, I will use them up, and then I will continue making my own paints and just buy pigments instead. Because the pigments are very versatile. I can make tempera paints, I can make watercolor paints with the same ones. The oil paints, I mean, it's very versatile. The only thing you switch out are like the binders, the mediums. Oil paint is really simple. It's just linseed oil. I used cold pressed one with pigment. That's it. This one was a little bit more like 1 or 2 more ingredients, but I'm not complaining. Yeah, that's the Rembrandt one. St. Petersburg one. There is something that frustrates me, is that I don't have any names, I don't have any pigment information, light fastness information, stuff like that. Of course, I don't have light fast information on my own paints, but by choosing pigments that are known for being light fast, I feel like it can be comparably safe. And especially since I don't sell paintings, like watercolor paintings, so I'm not too worried about that. But I would love to know what these are made of. And I kind of get a little bit itchy when I don't know what's inside. The Zecchi, which is my favorite paints that I've tried. I have the names, but I don't have the pigment information. And I'm going to visit Florence again soon, in 3 weeks, and I'm going to ask them, actually, because I'm thinking of buying more paints from them. I really love these paints. Just look at this. The quality is great. And I feel like the pigments are, especially the like natural ones, you can just see that they are actually what they say they are. But some are like, sap green is not a pigment, it's called sap green, it's always a mix. But what are the mix, I wonder. Same with like Hooker's green, what are the mixes? It's probably like, and the emerald green is all certain, it looks like some sort of a phthalo green mix, and the olive green is also a muted mixed green premix. So they make mixes and I can't tell what's in them. So, oh, this one is loose. So I'll ask them. Maybe they'll answer me. Maybe I'll understand. If I buy some pigments, they will understand that. I want to know. Because I want to... I really love these colors. I just love them. And I want to remake them when I'm empty, because I'm not going to Florence every year, that's for sure. And I use up like a half pan in a year, definitely, if there is a color that I use a lot. So yeah, I'll ask them. And this one doesn't say, it does say it's made of acai honey. It says, this is like a color chart.